Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. So good to see everybody. Thank you for joining in today. We are talking about organization. Organization is one of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm going to give a few seconds, just let a couple of people come and join in. But I have some really great tips and strategies to share today. And I also have some really exciting announcements that I'm excited to share with you guys. So today is going to be a great talk. It is not sweltering this week. I'm so excited. So the tea is back. You guys just don't know how much it killed me last week to not have any tea. I love tea. I had iced tea, but it wasn't the same as hot tea. Hey, Eric. So it's so great to be able to enjoy my hot tea this week since I'm not, dying. How was your week? I'm not sure if it was yesterday or if it was the day before yesterday, but it was National Self-Care Day. So guys, let me know, what did you do for self-care? What did I do? I think I tried a new nail polish, and what else did I do? I don't think I did too much else. I think that was probably, hey DJ, that was probably my self-care, not doing too much, because usually my schedules are jam-packed. So I know, me and Cliff, we played a whole bunch of games that I had been wanting to play. So we played like Heads Up. I think we played Monopoly this week. We played, I taught him how to play Gin Rummy. So that was really fun. We just spent some downtime, so that was great. Hey Kelly, for everybody coming in, I was just asking, what did you do for National Self-Care Day? I think that was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. Which is super, super important. You guys know I preach self-care all the time because it's so necessary. And it's more than just, getting your nails done or taking a bath, but it's just whatever you need to do to prioritize you, whether that's, creating a goal list or going somewhere or, spending intentional time with your spouse or with your friends. All of those things count as self-care. So those are super, super important as well. What you got on the spades? I like spades, but I don't know how to play two-person spades, so that's the only thing. I haven't learned that yet, but I did teach him how to play Gin Rummy, so that was fun. Brent, you said you missed that one. Okay, so your homework assignment, Brent, is to try to do some self-care this weekend, since you missed that. So you have to let me know what self-care that you were able to do. So guys, I'm going to get started because I have some really great information that I want to share with you guys. We were talking about one of my favorite subjects. I am a very type A personality. I love order. I love structure. And so organization really, really helps me. But like I said earlier this week, I've noticed it was a repeating theme over and over among my clients. People were saying, okay, how can I get organized? I feel like I'm not achieving my goals. So what do I need to be doing in order to feel more productive? And so I felt like we should talk about it because, I know sometimes I even struggle with it. So having a set list of tools and strategies can really be helpful. So some of the tools that I use for organization, all of these, I am not sponsored. However, if anybody want to hook me up with some sponsorships, shout a girl out. But all the things I'll be mentioning, they didn't pay me to, hype them up or anything, but I just find them really effective. So I am huge on planners. I know that people can use your smartphone and you can do all that electronically, but for me, I need it in black and white, or for me, many different colors, right in front of me. So my favorite planner, this is the Passion Planner, and shout out to Latanja because she's actually the one who told me about this planner, and my sister got it for me. Thanks, Sean. My sister got it for me, and I have been in love with it ever since. So this is the Passion Planner. It comes in a couple of different colors. This is rose gold, and the one thing that I love about it is that besides the monthly breakdown, you're gonna see all my scribbles and colors. I'll explain that in a minute. But what I like is that you get a monthly breakdown, but then it also gives you a weekly breakdown right after it, and it goes by hours. So I really like that too. I don't utilize that so much. probably just because I have an app. So the only probably, you guys know I do hair as well. And so for my hair clients, I actually have an app that like schedules hourly for me. So I use that. I do use on my phone. So I haven't really found doing that, but maybe I might challenge myself for August to try to use this hourly portion. So it has the hourly ones and it goes by week. It also has this week's focus, good things that happen. It has a little quote. So for this, for the week of July 21st to July 27th, it says, oh, which is actually this week. Look at that. Life is a balance of holding on and letting go. Rumi. This week, do yourself a favor and forgive as many people as you can about things that happened in the past. Ooh, that's a good one. There's also down here a personal to-do list. It says top priority, and errands. And then there is a work to-do list and then a space of infinite possibility. So this is where you can jot down any notes and all of that. So I like that. But then at the end of it, there is also a monthly reflection piece. And this I really, really like because I don't feel like I journal as much as I want to, so I've really been trying to challenge myself. So it has a couple of prompts. So for this month, or actually I think all of these are, every month, these are the journal prompts. What was the most memorable part of this month? Describe it. What were the 3 biggest lessons you've learned in this past month? Review your planner for the past month and assess your priorities. Are you happy with how you spent your time? If not, what steps can you take next month to adjust them? How are you different between this past month and the month before it? What or who are you especially grateful for this past month? Name 3 things you can improve on this upcoming month. What concrete actions can you take to work toward these improvements? And then there's an end of the month checklist. So highlight your accomplishments, reform, choose this month's game changer, and then set checkpoints. And so I really like this because it really causes you to be very reflective about your plans. There's also a roadmap. It's called a passion roadmap that is in the beginning. And so you can kind of plan out, this is things for like your year and all of that. And they have you reference back to it. So I really, really love it. It's been super cool. I love the size. I carry it everywhere. It fits in my purse. As you can see, it's probably, this is what, about 5 by 8. But I really love it. So as you could also tell, I love color coordinating. Anybody knows me, I'm a little bit OCD just because I love color coordination. I feel like it helps my brain to organize things. Sometimes I can, like, anybody else might see this and see chaos. But to me, I'm like, I know what red means. I know what blue means. I know, and so that's really, really helpful. So again, for me, looking at a glance, I'm now seeing this is what my month looks like. So one of the tools that I use are these pens. So these are by Pilot. They're friction. These are erasable pens. When I tell you guys, these are some of the most beautiful erasable pens. Again, this is not sponsored, but you know how. So I'm just going to show you guys an example. So I made this scribble, right? Doing a little erase action here. And boom. You can barely see where it was. Some of the best erasable pens I have ever used in my life. They write really, really smoothly, and they last long. And then you get this, and I think this pack was maybe $7 to $10, maybe $10, I think, for the multicolor pack. They still, yes, and these are beautiful erasable pens. But when I tell you these have changed my whole life. Beautiful. And so this is my second pack of the year. I think I bought these. No. I think I bought these maybe towards the end of the last year or the very beginning of the year. So it's almost August. So I just went into my pack. And the only reason I bought a second pack was because I had used my black all the way out. But my other colors, I still have my other pack and they still are writing just fine. There was only a couple colors that I used very, very consistently. And so they were running out. So for me, I'm going to just give you a little insight into what my schedule looks like. So for black is all of my like fitness and like healthy living stuff. So I try to plan out my workouts for the week and what I'm going to do. And so those are in black. Red are any bills or payments that I have coming out. And so those, again, when I look at it, I can see, boom, this week I've got 2 payments coming out. So it helps me to kind of keep on track along with the other ways that I manage my finances. Green is any type of income or payments that I'm accepted. So I might put a star or something by days that I get paid, days my husband get paid. If I have other things coming in that I'm just like, oh, this is coming. So this kind of helps me let, green money. Dark blue is for any projects that I'm working on. So for instance, every Thursday I have therapy Thursdays, and so you'll see that in dark blue on my calendar. Light blue is for anything work related. So as you guys know, I do I do independent counseling, and so with a private group practice. And so what I do is I have to be able to keep track of like when my clients cancel or what my schedule looks like, or just kind of being able to see like last week, I kid you guys not, I'm not even sure about I had 21 clients. I only worked that job 3 days a week, and I had 21 clients. So I'm going to show you just how crazy it was. I was actually supposed to have 22 and somebody canceled. But yeah, so I have to be able to see, okay, what is my week looking like? Because again, I try to make it, we get our schedule pretty much for the month, and then my repeating clients, I know when they're coming back. So this helps me to be able to see, okay, what is my week going to look like? How do I need to plan accordingly? Because last week when I had 21 clients, I wasn't doing too much extra. By the time Wednesday night came, I was spent. I was done. Purple is for all of my hair clients. And so anytime I'm in the salon, any person who schedules, when I see purple, I know that that's a hair client. And then pink is for all of my personal stuff. So anything that has nothing to do with work, nothing to do with hair, nothing to do, this is just me and what I want to do with my schedule, it's in pink. So that's kind of just how my system works. I also, as you can see on here, I love Post-its. Hey, Miss Joyce. I love Post-its. And so, again, I make little notes everywhere. So even with my calendar, even with my phone, sometimes I don't have time to like create a whole thing in my planner. So I'm like, I just need to jot something down real quick. So boom, let me just write down this on a Post-it, put it in my planner, and then I can get back to it later. So that really helps. And then, of course, there's your smartphone. So if you use the Google Suite, they have, the calendar. They have so many things the Drive to help keep you really, really organized. Use Microsoft Outlook. There's so many different things you can do on a smartphone. Of course, your iPhone or your Android calendars, all of that. You can do a whole lot within that. So however you choose to utilize your smartphone, that can be really great. So some helpful hints for just organizing your days, organizing your week, even organizing your month. So make lists. I love lists for two purposes. One, it helps me to write down my thoughts and kind of think, okay, what are my plans? What do I really need to get done? But also it helps me to, when I'm marking things off, because I feel accomplished, right? So I make daily lists, I make weekly lists, and I make monthly lists. So usually, today is I don't even know. I know it's Thursday, but today's the 24th. Yeah, the 25th. Today's the 25th. So for the 25th, I know the end of the month is next week. So in that, I'm thinking, okay, cool. What now do I want to be accomplishing for August? I've already been thinking about that. Really, I've been thinking about that since like the beginning of July. But, I'm thinking, okay, cool. So I've already started making lists of like, what do I want my August to look like? What am I thinking about? For weekly lists. So usually I do my weekly list on Sunday, since my work week starts on a Monday and ends usually, like I said, on a Wednesday night. And then I usually have salon things for the weekend. And so I try to look over my week, see what it's going to look like. And then I also have daily lists. So in the morning, before I start my day, I'm reviewing, okay, what do I want to get done today? Do I have notes to finish? Do I need to prep for certain sessions? Are there any things for research for clients I need to do? And so those are some things that I'll do as well. Setting intentions for the day or the week. So this is really important, right? Because if I just go into my day flying into it saying, okay, boom, 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 and I'm not putting myself in a space of centering almost, of being able to say, what do I want today to look like? If I know the clients on my schedule, a lot of them deal with depression. I'm like, okay, how am I going to keep myself from getting into that? What do I want this day to look like? How am I going to keep calm if I have a lot of clients who deal with anxiety? And even if you're not dealing with therapy like I am, the type of environment you're going to be in, the people that you're going to be interacting with. So being able to say, okay, what do I want my day to look like? No matter what the situation around me is going to look like, how do I set this intention to say, this is what my day is going to look like? Same thing for the week, and for me, I incorporate prayer. I incorporate scripture with okay, this is what I'm going to meditate on today. This is what I'm going to meditate on this week. But you can do that without that as well. So it's just really being intentional and saying, okay, these are my plans. This is the space that I want to be in. Giving yourself space to not do it all. Excuse me. This is really, really hard for me sometimes because I'm I'm a giver. And so I like to constantly try to be there for people, help people, even if I know my schedule is full, I'm kind of like, well, maybe I can squeeze it in. And sometimes I just have to say no. No, I can't. And I have to say no to myself more than anybody else, because even if I can, that doesn't mean that I should. That's a really big part of self-care too, is being able to say no. No is huge. Perfect your no. I know there's a lot of different books out there about that, but it's so important, because we can easily overextend ourselves and then we have nothing left for ourselves. Prioritizing projects is super important. So again, that's why I like this passion planner, because it has this part where it gives you a space to say, what are the personal projects or work projects that I'm dealing on? But now let me prioritize them. So what's priority? Is this due in a week? Is this due in a month? Do I have some wiggle room? Is this due in 2 days? And then what is something that is just like, this is lesser priority, or maybe this is just an errand that I'm hoping to get done. So being able to prioritize, that helps, because again, it takes the stress off. If I know that I have something due at the end of August, and then I start even doing little steps towards it mid-July, then I'm already ahead of the game. So now when August comes, I'm like, okay, cool, I've already started, so it's not as overwhelming. If you can't remember things, last thing is schedule time for fun. So again, for me, that's this pink pen. That's me being able to say, yes, you have a million things to do, but you also need to take care of yourself. My goal for myself this summer was to do one social thing a week. Now, if anybody knows me, I am an extroverted introvert. So I can go out, I can do things like this, I can get on live, I can talk to people. But when I'm in big crowds, when I'm around people, when I have to really be pulled on socially, it is draining. Which is funny, because I work in a job where everybody is pulling on me all day long. And I'm really drained, and I have to know that about myself. So I know, I'm like, okay, I also know that I need balance, and I do need to get refilled from people too, not just by myself. I do recharge by myself, but it's important for me to socialize, and I want to maintain my friendships. So in that, I said my goal for the summer was one thing a week. So because I'm doing one thing a week, I've been able to track it, because again, I'm looking at that pink color and I'm saying, did I do something social this week? I actually did a lot of social things this month. I'm really proud of myself. I think I've gone out, and for me, it doesn't have to be going out. You could just, be hanging out, but I actually did go out with friends every weekend so far this month. I have things to do this weekend, so I am sure I'm going to be a little tired, but I also balance it. So if I know I went out Friday or Thursday night, I'm like, maybe I don't need to do anything Saturday or Sunday because I'm tired. And so again, being able to set that boundary. Eric is saying, yeah, I love the planner too. Being able to revisit things that dropped off on radar. Yeah, it's so good because it gives you that reflection process, right? To be able to go back and see, oh man, I forgot this was important. I forgot that I wanted to do this. So yeah, I really enjoy it too. Again, big shouts to Latanja because she's the one who put me on. She was over one day and I saw that and I was like, that planner is gorgeous. What is that? And then she showed me and I was like, okay, I got to get this. I love it. And then of course, my sister who bought it for me. So what if you have problems with remembering what I need to do? Because some people are like, cool, I made a list, but I forget to check it. So setting alarms, like we live in 2019, and so we live in a world of technology. So you can set an alarm. So I just told one of my clients this past week, like set an alarm in the morning for when you want to review your calendar. Her goal was to review it at the start of her day and then again later on, like before she went to bed, like midday type thing. And so I told her, set those 2 alarms. So when those alarms go off, boom, start of my day, this is how I'm setting my intentions for the day. This is what I want to do. And then towards the end of the day, being able to reflect, okay, what did I miss? Is there anything that flew under the radar that I didn't get? And so being able to just kind of check in with yourself. Also, accountability is super, super important. So besides me having my calendars and doing all this, I'm also letting 2 or maybe 1 to 2, 3 people know. My sister and my cousin and I all have a Marco Polo that we're on every single day. And so we kind of help keep each other accountable with saying, hey, remember you said you wanted to do this week, remember this. And then of course my spouse as well, being able to say, hey, don't let me forget I wanted to do this. This is something that was important to me. And so creating that sense of accountability, because you need people who are challenging you and who are sharpening you and being able to tell you, like, don't forget, like, stay on your goals. When you're setting goals and deadlines, I'm sure we've all heard this, especially we hear this in the business models and all of that, but you want to set SMART goals. And so those SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, relevant, and timely. So again, specific. So you want to make these as specific as possible. So for me, it was like, I want to be more social this summer. So for me specifically, I had to be like, okay, I am going to go out or hang out with or just get out of the house at least once every weekend. That was a very specific goal for me. Measurable. So can I track that progress? So now, again, I can look back in my planner and I can say every weekend I see pink writing. That means that I did something. I did something personal for myself. I went out. Attainable or achievable. So is this a realistic goal? If I say, okay, I am going to go, travel out the state 3 times this month, like, it might be achievable, but is it really? Do I have the finances? Do I have the time? Do I have the energy to do that? So you want to make sure that you're setting realistic goals as well. Relevant. So is this worthwhile? So being able to kind of reflect and say, why do I want to achieve this goal? So for me, wanting to be more social, wanting to do that is like because I knew I was falling out of touch with some of the people that were really dear to me. So I said, okay, I know I need to give myself this time to relax. I work really hard, so I need to enjoy life and enjoy my friends. So to me, it was worthwhile. And then timely. You want to include a time limit. So for me, even when I'm going out, sometimes I'll set a time limit of saying, okay, I want to achieve this, or I want to stay out this certain amount of time, or saying, hey, I want to achieve this. So for me, this was a summer related goal. So I knew that my summer started at the end of May for, when the summer break started for my daughter. So I was like, cool, from May to August, I want to be achieving these. And then when the school year comes back, it's going to look a little bit different. But from May to August, these are the goals that I'm working on. And so that was the timely goal for me. I'm going to share with you guys a BuzzFeed article, some things I heard from a BuzzFeed article about 14 charts to handle everything negative in your life. I'm going to share the link, but just these were some of the main points. First, I want to give a chance. Does anybody have any other tools that maybe I didn't mention that were really, really helpful for organization? Any other planners? Oh, I forgot. Brent told me about, it's called a Panda planner. Yeah, Panda planner. So, and it is unmarked, and I really like that because there's no time limit on that. So like say this starts in January 2019 and it goes to a certain amount of time, whereas that one doesn't have dates on it. So you can use it anytime. You're not wasting any paper. So that's really cool. Because sometimes if it's July and you haven't bought a planner yet and you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to go buy one now, half of the planner you can't even use because it's dated. So I really like that because that was an undated one. So I will share that link as well. But does anyone have any more tools that they find really helpful? I'm going to take a sip of my tea really quickly. No. All right then. But yeah, feel free to comment as I'm talking. But from those charts, these were some of the things that really stood out to me. So number 1 was creating boundaries. That looks like maybe saying, I'm not working past 5 p.m. or 5:30. Being able to say, hey, I know that you really want me to work on this project, but I'm sorry, I have to leave the office by 5 o'clock. I have to stop by 5:30 today. And that's really important. For me, I stopped taking hair requests. I stopped opening up my salon hours on Sundays and said they're only by request. Because I was like, I could work all weekend, but I'm probably going to be tired. I'm probably going to be stressed. So let me not. So, that was a good boundary for me. Or no checking emails on the weekend. Unless I know something is going to be really, really pertinent, or I have I'm waiting for a response from somebody. When my work week ends, I do not check emails. Now, I know some people work in positions where you're constantly on call and you have to, and that's understandable. But to the best of your ability, even if it's just a few hours. So let's say if you're saying from 6 to 8 p.m. while I have dinner with my family or while I wind down from the day, I won't check any emails. And then maybe check emails again, or saying I'm going to stop checking emails by 11 p.m. And then just setting that boundary. Deal with draining people. Some of the hardest things to deal with while you're trying to organize and plan your life is when you have people in your life who are draining. And that can be a really big hindrance. So knowing how to deal with those people. So we've talked about this before. I think it was in when we had our boundaries talk. But being direct with how they impact your energy. So you don't have to tell someone, yo, you're draining. That would be rude. So you don't want to do that, but be able to say, hey, I noticed that in this situation, every time we talk, it seems to be all about you, or I feel like, I don't feel supported. And so be very direct. And so that's important. Brent said, first vacation in 4 years that I completely turned off my email, and it's amazing not to see what's going on. I'm so proud. In my mind, I was thinking about you when I was saying that. So I'm so happy to hear that because, yeah, you work a very demanding job. And but being able to just take that time and really be present in the moment, with yourself, with your family, is so important. So I'm so happy that you did that, Brent. That makes me so happy to hear. So when you're dealing with draining people, so again, being direct with how they impact your energy, don't answer every call or text. Like, again, that's one of the beauties of smartphones. We always know who's calling us, who's texting us, unless it's scam likely, because then we don't know. But like, we know who it is. So you don't have to answer every text. You can say, I'm busy, I'll get back to you. You don't have to feel like you have to be at their beck and call. Be intentional about when and how often you talk. So if you know that this person is going to be draining and bring in negativity, do not have that call at the start of the day. Don't even do it at the end of the day when you're about to relax and, go into your sleep and stuff, because you don't want to bring that into your subconscious either. So be very intentional about, when do I need to talk to this person? And then how often? I don't need to check in with you 2-3 times a week. Maybe we just need to talk once a week. So again, being able to know when is a good time. Making sure that you're changing your thoughts. So again, this kind of looks like, if I change my thoughts, then my behaviors are going to change as well. That kind of goes back to that cognitive behavioral mindset. So instead of saying this is too much, say, what do I need? So instead of focusing on like, I'm so overwhelmed, this is just too much for me. Okay, what do I need? How do I need to feel myself in this situation? Instead of, comparing yourself to other people and saying, am I behind? Change that thought to, what can I celebrate? So, okay, I see they're married, they're on their second kid, blah, blah, blah. But what can I celebrate that's going on in my life? What am I doing? Which is so important, because we live in a social media world right now where we're constantly faced with what other people are doing. Like, we spend our whole lives being voyeurs, almost looking into other people's lives. And it's great because it's amazing to be able to keep touch with people, especially who live far away, or friends we have from college and high school and grammar school. But it's also can be really, really deadly because comparison kills. Instead of thinking I messed up, think, what did I learn? We have to learn how to embrace our mistakes because they can be learning opportunities if we allow them to be. This is another really, really great one. So another tool, stop overthinking. Stop it. Just stop it. If you're overthinking now, just stop it, because we all do it, right? I'm definitely guilty of this, but we have to stop, because it not only increases our anxiety, it drives us crazy, and it just is really not healthy, creates unnecessary stress. So some tools for to stop overthinking: plan a specific time to think about it. I will give myself time just to overthink something, just to be like, okay, this is worrying me. Maybe I need to, just be here for a moment. Maybe right now is not the best time. If I'm in the middle of a session, or if I'm in between sessions, I need to be focusing on something else, not something that's going to cause me to get into a negative headspace. Or even if it's about a positive thing, even still, something that I'm just going to be like, ooh, I'm a little keyed up about. So don't overthink. Plan a specific time to think about it. Put a time limit on it. So say, okay, cool, this is when I'm going to think about this, but I'm not going to think about and stay longer than 30 minutes. I think that's a very reasonable time. If it's a really big decision, maybe no longer than 45 minutes or an hour, but put a time on it. Write it down. A lot of times when it stays stuck up here, that's when it starts to almost like torture us, because it's just here and just like, So being able to write it down and say, okay, cool, this is what it is. Not only am I able to organize it a little better because I can see it in black and white, but then I can also show someone else and get some positive feedback and input. Let go of perfection. This is me again. So being able to strive, because to me, good enough was never good enough, right? But I also had to say, okay, perfection is going to drive me bananas. I'm going to be stressed. I'm going to be anxious. I'm just, and it's probably still not going to be perfect. It also caused procrastination. A lot of times we will see perfectionism and procrastination in the same category, because people would rather turn in something late or say, okay, I'm just going to do it later, waiting for it to be perfect rather than just turning anything in. Instead of saying, hey, let me try to do my absolute best. Let me plan ahead of time so that I can put in a really good effort. Do this. It's not perfect, but here it is. This is my best effort. And being timely rather than just pushing it off saying, well, it's not done yet. It's not done yet. It's not perfect yet, because it's never going to be perfect. And so being okay with that. And then staying present focused. So many times we can get so wrapped in our minds about what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen 3 months from now, and it's nothing wrong with planning the future, but when we can't exist in the present, then that's what really hinders us from being able to live a good quality life, because we're so stuck ahead of here. And, not to be morbid, but tomorrow is not promised. So if we're so stuck there all the time that we can't enjoy the day-to-day life, then we lose so much. And so it's really so important to be able to stay focused and stay in the present. Another important thing when it comes to like planning and organization is create no pressure goals. Give yourself a sense of accomplishment. So like, boom, I checked this off the list, but no stress and no pressure to it. So example, finish my book and celebrate. My family and I are in this summer reading challenge. I'm currently winning, but my goal was like, I want to finish this book. I want to do this. And so every time I finish a book, I celebrate. I'm excited about it. And it's an accomplishment and it's a goal, but I'm making it fun. And then, or hanging with a friend 2 times this month, give yourself these goals that really are enjoyable goals. Because a lot of times we think goals and it's just like, oh, this big list of things that I have to do and not necessarily things that we enjoy. Marissa, you say, yeah, putting off things because perfection overwhelms me. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and even more, I think about, there's so many different fields. So like, especially like in the field of social work and even in cosmetology, like there's such a desire to want to be a perfectionist, right? It's like, I have to be the best. I have to be doing this. I have to, and it's just like, it's just not going to happen, or it's going to happen with time. You have to give yourself the time to progress in your fields. And so if you're constantly chasing perfection, you're not even experiencing the beauty of this is where I am now versus this is where I was before. Like, you have to give yourself time to reflect on the growth that you've had. That's so important. Make a stressful day to-do list. We have to-do lists for everything, but we're going to still have stressful days. There are going to be days when it's just like, you know what? I woke up and I can just feel it's just that kind of day. So even having a kind of to-do list of like, what do I do on those days? So some of the examples they had were tell someone I love you, celebrate what's working, eat something, because let me tell you, when you try to make decisions when you are tired or when you are hungry or when you are cold, or hot, don't make decisions then. Don't try to even engage with other people because you're probably going to be grumpy and it's not going to be a good time. It's going to be a bad time. So eat something, wear a favorite piece of clothing. For me, today was a really good day, but I know things that are going to perk up my day. I love Bob Ross. I wore a Bob Ross shirt because it makes me feel good. So we all have those things where it's like, okay, this is my favorite pair of jeans. This is my favorite shirt. This is, whatever. Do things that are going to intentionally boost your mood. Listen to your favorite song on repeat. Again, I have a playlist. I call it the dopamine playlist because I feel like it, every time I listen to it, those songs make that chemical just active in my brain. But I also have things where I'm just like, this is my, usually it's a Chance the Rapper song for me. Like if I go listen to a Chance album, or if I go, which actually I think his album is supposed to be coming out tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Brent, are you aware of that? I'm super excited. I think it's definitely supposed to be this weekend, if not tomorrow. But yeah, listening to something, having that go-to of saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is something that's going to perk up my mood. This is my stressful day playlist. And then be proactive about living. Because again, planning is great, organizing your life, doing all of these things, but you have to be proactive about living. We're so busy sometimes and focused on achieving, and I got to do this and I got to do this. We forget the day-to-day part of just living. So being proactive about living. So try scheduling some of these things in your month. Having a lunch date with a friend, 24 hours of no social media, having a day outdoors, doing a night out with friends, doing a date night, even if it's a solo date night, having a breakfast meetup, having a movie night, having a day where you're serving others, and then having a day completely to yourself. I guarantee if you do even just a couple of those things every month, it puts so much more focus on enjoying the day-to-day living process, and really that makes the difference between just living and existing, right? Because if we're just existing, we're going through the motions, we're checking off our goals, we're doing this, but we miss out on the living part and really experiencing and engaging in life with other people. So those are just some of the tools that I thought were really great. Again, I'm going to show you guys the tools again. So this was the Passion Planner. This is what I use. I'm going to show this link or share this link. I'm also going to share the link to the Panda Planner that Brent told me about. These are the Pilot Friction Erasable Pens. I'm also going to share the link for this. because this was really good, and then I will share the article. I do have some really exciting announcements. So I did tell you guys I have some exciting announcements. So number one, there is a new Facebook and YouTube page coming. So right now I am operating Therapy Thursdays off of my personal page, but I am going to separate that because thankfully you guys have been so great and you have been constantly watching. And so I want to make sure that I have a separate place just for this. So people, if you ever need to refer people to say, hey, this was going on, they don't have to weed through all of my personal posts and all of that, but it will be just for this. So when that page comes, please look out for it. Please go like the page so that you get the updates for when I go live. I'll still keep sharing it on my personal page for a while, but this way you'll be able to just directly go there. And then also, I have a very, very, very awesome opportunity. If you are in Chicago, definitely please try to come out if you can. I will be speaking on a panel in August. There is a movie coming out that is called See the Light. It is created by a Black filmmaker. She wrote it, she produced it, and all of that. And so it's about depression, it's about mental health, it's about suicide. And so there's going to be a panel of clinicians who are going to be able to talk and have kind of like a Q&A after the movie screening, and it is going to be on the south side of Chicago. Once I set up that separate Facebook page, I will be sharing all of the marketing material. Again, it's going to be in August. I would love for you guys to come out and to support. It'd be great to, for those I don't know, to meet you in person and just be able to share some of those resources. I know they're going to have information about the National Suicide Crisis Hotline. Hopefully they'll talk about the Warm Line as well, because there's a lot of really great resources. We talked about it, I think, when we had one of the earlier messages about depression and managing that. So this will be a really, really great opportunity. I'm super excited. And I'm also really excited if you guys have any events coming up that you need a clinician to come in to speak at, then that's something I definitely can do. I'm in the Chicagoland area. However, I can go all over Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. And if anybody is just like, hey, I need you to come out of state and, we can make something happen too. So, just definitely hit me up if you know of any opportunities where they're looking for clinicians to come in to talk about any topics. I love talking, especially about mental health and education. And so that's definitely something I'm excited about. Again, those details will be coming very, very soon. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining in, and all of the feedback, all of the great tools and just comments that you guys shared. And I will be talking to you very, very soon. And always, if you have any topics that you are really, really wanting to hear about or things that you want to be discussing, let me know. I'm in the works right now of trying to create another mini series. We're going to finish the reconciliation series soon, but I also want to create a little mini series talking to specifically Black men, but I want to talk to all men as well. But Black men would be great, because I think there's such a huge stigma when it comes to mental health in the African American community, and especially mental health in African American men. So I am already in the works of trying to get a few men to talk to about what they would like in a counseling atmosphere, some of the barriers and the challenges that they've had as far as accessing those resources. So if you are a Black man and you would like to be part of that, please let me know, and let's set up a time where we can get you on, because it's so important. And I want to give, again, everybody, but I think the Black man doesn't have a voice. And so that's one of the things when I'm counseling Black men, that I know that one of the repeating themes is, I just want to be heard. I just want to be understood. And I think that's so, so important. And so if I can use this platform to do that, that would be fantastic. So thank you guys, and I will talk to you very soon. You guys have a wonderful night, and I'll see you next week.